should be live. We're live now. What's going on, D-Bags? Hope you guys are doing well. We're back here again with another episode of the Detox Podcast, episode 266 to be exact. If you're new here and you enjoy music, podcasts, comedy, or hooping videos, do consider subscribing. We've got a whole bunch of that stuff going on around here. When you do subscribe, leave a like or hang out with us in the live chat like you're going to do today. Helps us share conversations and laughs like this with more people. As this guy, his first podcast, trying to open up. I'm just kidding. I'm just giving you shit, man. This guy's awesome. I'm going to introduce you in a second, but I have a great guest for you guys today. We've got a lot of fun stuff in store for you. We'll get into the specifics in a second, but before I can do all that, I got to talk to you guys a little bit about vacation time because it's the summer in the Midwest. That's where I'm recording this, and we only get like 2 weeks. Our summer's like 2-3 weeks, it feels like, of good weather, so why not use it while we've got it? You can go up to today's sponsor, Alpine House 2. Let's be real. There's nothing better than a well-earned vacation. It feels good to get away from everything for just a little bit and enjoy yourself. And there's just no better place to do it than with Alpine House 2. Alpine House 2 is a classic Swiss chalet duplex A-frame with a log cabin interior directly across from the Ski Brûlée Resort. And when I say directly, I mean even your least athletic friend can throw a ball of any sort and they can hit the resort. It's that close. Surrounded by forests, lakes, rivers, Iron River, or more specifically Iron River, Alpine House 2 is the destination for fishing, hunting, hiking, and then when it does get cold, snowmobiling as well. Currently, Alpine House 2 just finished up a whole bunch of renovations. They've had their first month and a half or so of bookings go really, really well. And if you're interested in having a wonderful vacation for either yourself or the fam or even the homies, go to @AlpineHouse2 on Instagram. That's @ALPINEHAUS, the number 2. On Instagram to stay up to date on more bookings, renovations, and stuff like that. One last time, that's @AlpineHouse2 on Instagram to stay up to date. Check them out. They're linked down below. Let them know Rita Detox sent you, and they will set you up. Now, with all that good stuff out of the way, I almost introduced him early because I'm so excited. I'm pumped to be kicking it with my guest this week. He is the renowned friend of Michael Scott, who is a producer and a regular on the show. Michael's been recommending I have this gentleman on for quite a while at this point. Let's give a wet detox welcome to Chris Romano. He's here in the studio. You're out here, man.
Yay.
How are you?
A.K.A. the Messenger, A.K.A. the Leprechaun.
Are those nicknames that people have given to you? Or you've given to yourself?
They've been acquired. I mean, it happens when it happens, and when you're a leprechaun, you're a leprechaun. It's not really a nickname. It's just, it's a way of life.
You just are a leprechaun.
It's a way of life.
Kind of like Ed Sheeran in that way.
Yeah.
You kind of have the same eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Do you like Ed
At
Sheeran?
2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Man. Oh,
Okay. Damn, man. So where does the messenger come from?
Well, every messenger comes from a mess. And in the mess is the message. And then the messenger shares the message through channeling, through alchemy, through whatever sources they have. And so the messenger just kind of came about with a lot of wisdom. And when I unlocked some codes in myself that made the flow go even more flowing, it was like just dropping messages that sometimes I don't even know where they come from, but I'm just a channel. I'm just a piece of conduit.
You're just a vessel for the flow.
I'm just a vessel for the flow, right?
What is the flow?
The flow.
What is the flow?
The flow, I mean, the flow is that flojo. I mean, flow is wolf backwards. And dog is God backwards. Oh.
Yeah.
Ooh,
wow.
Some interesting stuff there.
You're pulling me in right away.
So some interesting stuff there. So the flow is when you're just in. It's like the motion. You're just in motion and kind of like
moving.
Just moving and grooving. Yeah. The ebb and flow, like this.
There's nothing that can stop you. You know, once an object's in motion.
There can be stops. There can be stoppages. I mean, because it's like a flow is really. I mean, there's different frequencies of flow. There's different levels of flow, but at the highest frequency. I mean, it's like the top of the mountain.
What would you say about menstrual flow? What do we do about that?
We put a period at the end of it.
That'll put a stop to it. Yeah.
If not, there's a bloody mess.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's still a message. A message.
We're freestyling right now. This is good.
Still a message, but it's a bloody message.
So, Chris, I mentioned
the age of time
because people are gonna wonder. They're gonna be like, "Who is this Chris guy? How does Darren know this guy?" I mentioned in the introduction that Michael Scott, you're an acquaintance of his, producer of ours, who's been on the show a bunch of times. He recommended I have you on. I'm curious. I know you guys used to like work together, right? This is
Yeah.
Michael's first guest that he's brought to the show. So
I'm a virgin too.
and you're
podcast.
a virgin, first podcast, man. Are you excited or what, dude? Like I feel like we're off to a good start.
Right. I mean, you're moving slow. I mean, thanks for the foreplay. You know, don't enter
I'm
right
taking
away.
it easy.
Right.
I'm taking it easy.
So
you know?
Great gratitude.
We have to limber up before we get in there.
Right.
Now I mentioned you're Michael's first guest, and you guys used to work together. How was it working with Michael, producer of mine? Because I've worked with him. He's working on the show. He's a good dude in my experience. But have you ever had to discipline Michael?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, a little bit, but I mean, I'm not really the biggest. I've done my best at trying to adapt to who you are. Let me show me who you are, and that's what I'll work with.
Yeah.
All right. Now, there's a few things that I guess in my career path and what I was trying to do with my company, that moving company.
You had a moving company for
moving,
people that don't
cleaning,
know.
removal.
That's what you and Michael did
right,
at the time?
Right.
Okay,
and a lot of the movers, they like the moving, but then I was trying to push them into resale and redirect the flow. And that was very difficult.
You were trying to get them to harness the flow.
Yes,
and they weren't ready to harness the flow.
Right. Yeah. So, and that part, it was hurting me in a lot of different ways, financially, mentally, just in many different ways, because I have 2 warehouses I was paying for at the time, and I was like, I need movement, and I need the motion, I need the flow. You needed
some of the cash flow.
I need the flow. I need the flow to go.
Yeah.
But I have all the flow on this side where everyone's putting their energy at.
Which is the moving.
Right, which that was the easy part in a sense, even though the other part was easy, but it was difficult because it was new.
So what were you trying to resell for people that don't know, right? You were trying to resell like furniture that was left over maybe when you guys were moving people? Or?
So moving, cleaning, removal. So it was called We Haul Anything. I walked away from it at the end of last year to write a book and go a different route. My heart was leading to something different. I have the introduction for later, but
we'll get to the book.
But in the moving company, I was trying to make it a not-for-profit, and I was trying to help citizens at risk. But in moving, it was like I had a lot of wealthy clients. I had a lot of corporations like Extra Space Storage, CubeSmart, Public Storage, Bob's Furniture, Value City, all these different spots that were, and then the moving companies. So. And then the cleanouts.
What were they wanting with you? They were wanting you to help them move stuff?
I was a logistics specialist. So if you want your old couch gone, I make it go bye-bye. I make it disappear.
Yeah.
Whether I throw it away, give it away, sell it, burn it, whatever I do.
Yeah.
All right?
What's the weirdest thing you found in your time of, disposing of random furnitures and other objects?
Oh, man. Well, as an alchemist, which is the beautiful thing for the last 20 years, I took this position. And I didn't speak about my alchemy and my abilities, my energy abilities.
Yeah.
And in doing so, people trusted me in their homes to touch all their stuff. So I get to feel the vibrations and the energy and the frequency of everything they own. And so in doing so, and so whether they knew it or not, I was alchemizing.
Okay, what were you alchemizing?
Well, like there's some people that, I didn't want to know what was in your deep freezer. I didn't want to know. I didn't want to know what you did yesterday.
Okay.
All right, because I don't discriminate.
So did you ever get like a cool lamp or?
Yeah. I got a book worth $20,000. One book.
Yeah.
Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill, first edition autographed copy.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you sell it?
No, I still have it. I got a really cool chair that's
That's a great book, by the way.
From Noriega's house. You know Noriega, like the CIA and that guy out in Panama.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. Bro.
I have his chair and now I don't have any paperwork on it, but it's a $6,000 hand carved chair. And
you ever sit in it?
Yeah, not often though. But Mussolini and Castro sat in that chair also.
Whoa. Yeah.
So the story's been told. I can't prove it. There's no proof on that. This is all hearsay.
Yeah.
But the person I got it from was the caretaker of Noriega's house when Noriega was in prison. And then when he got out of prison, he was out for less than a year, and he died. So this whole time, this guy moved out by me, and I was his mover.
Yeah.
So in doing so, he knew how much I liked that chair at the time because my ego was in effect, and he didn't have a lot of money. So that's the beautiful thing about moving is there's movers and shakers, and you can make a deal on anything. So if I see something in your house I like while I'm moving you, I'm going to set it to the side and say, all right, I'll give you a discount.
Yeah.
And especially if it's something that I think, like, you don't even care about it anymore. You just have it because you paid for it. So
yeah, why not? That's kind of cool. That's a cool angle to have where, you're helping somebody move. They might be looking to get rid of a little dead weight anyways, a little less to carry, make the moving process easier. You're like, you know what? I'll take it off your hands, $50.
When CEOs move to California, they give me half their house.
Oh, yeah?
Or Arizona, because Arizona decor is not Midwest decor.
Yeah.
So in doing so, they don't want that Walter E. Smith couch. Or in the rich neighborhoods, the wealthy, with the for lack of better words, the trophy wife, in a sense, she wants blue walls instead of the walls they are. Now the blue walls don't match that red Walter E. Smith $5,000 couch. So instead of putting a post on Facebook or Craigslist saying free couch where anybody's gonna come and get it and you don't know who's in your $1 million home, you'd rather hire a reputable company like We Haul Anything and give me $200 to take that couch out without scratching your walls or your floor.
Yeah.
All right. So in doing so, now I have a $5,000 couch that I got paid to take.
Yeah.
Wow.
And you were trying to get people to work on the reselling of these things.
And then not only the reselling, because I've been so far removed, I haven't bought shampoo for 15 years.
You haven't bought shampoo for 15 years?
No, I still haven't. I haven't bought Q-tips. I haven't bought soap. I got more shoes than you. I have more shoes than you. I didn't pay for any of them.
Oh, okay. You've just gotten soap for free.
Right. Because when grandma dies, what? She's got a whole 6-pack of soap that she only used one box out of, one of them out. So there's 5 soaps in there, but the family is so distraught from death that, hey, they just want the house cleaned out. Let me get it.
Yeah. You're like, fuck it, I'll take the haunted soap,
It's
whatever.
not even haunted. Yeah. I'm an alchemist.
Yeah. Okay, so what's like the best soap that you get off a dead person? What's like your favorite soap that you've been using? Because you haven't bought soap in so long, so you've probably gotten a big variety. Me, I'm sticking to the same 3-4 soaps over the last 10 years.
I like some of the girly soaps actually.
I do too.
Yeah,
it's good.
I mean,
you ever shower? You shower at
They got good flavor, them women.
Yeah, sometimes I remember the first time I showered at my girl's house, and it's a fun game of ooh, what is this? What is this?
Yeah.
You're just using up all our potions.
There's some menthol soap and stuff that's just
menthol was not my pick.
Yeah, it's a strange it's like a organic, collagen. It's got some kind of menthol in it or something. It might not be menthol. I don't know. It feels like menthol though.
Interesting. Well, it's cool that you haven't had to the job that you've had. You haven't had to buy certain things that other people have had to
Pros and cons though.
What's the cons?
I don't know what anything's worth. I don't. So the value of stuff, I don't have it. 20 years removed of that. I haven't bought anything off Amazon.
Yeah.
Never bought. I don't. So having 2 warehouses, having over 1 million items at one time, which is overwhelming for almost everybody that came in my life.
Yeah.
They did. But I'm like, anytime I do go out to Menards, Target, I almost want to cry because I see how much this costs.
Yeah.
But I couldn't get anybody to sell it for half off, for 50%.
Yeah.
But I'll sell for 10 cents on the dollar, but not 50 cents on the dollar. I'm like, well, 10 cents where there's no meat on the bone for nobody.
Yeah. It's interesting. So you in doing that, being so disconnected from everything, you probably have an interesting relationship with money, I imagine. Do you even? It was mentioned to me that you're not a big fan of money. You don't believe in it.
Yes, money. Yes, I can't stand money anymore. Now growing up, in high school, my nickname was the Hustle Man. I was the Hustle Man in high school.
Why were you the Hustle Man?
Because my book bag didn't have books. It had CDs, cologne, brass knuckles. It had.
You were selling.
What you want? I got you. I got you. What you need? I got you.
Yeah.
I was buying speakers from the seniors, selling them to the sophomores, getting the bikes from the sophomores, selling them to 8th grade freshmen, and pay my tax, pay the leprechaun tax. All right. So got to feed the pot of gold, right?
Yeah. So you were kind of you've always been someone who's worked in the
money.
trades and the flipping. You're like, I'm gonna get this, get a little bit of money.
Right. I've for most of my life.
What jobs have you had other than that?
I've not had a boss in 15, 20 years.
Wow. That's awesome, man.
I might be getting a boss now. I'm in this transition period where I'm not done with the book. I might have to actually go get a boss.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I'm kind of looking forward to it. I haven't had a boss in a long time, so
be a different challenge for you.
Right.
To
new. Listen to somebody.
You mentioned there too, in the middle of all that you have never bought anything from Amazon.
No, or eBay.
Is there a reason for that? Why not? Is there like a personal?
It's a microwave society. All right. Supporting this is I've had arguments, discussions like, oh yeah, Amazon gives people a lot of jobs. Yeah, all right, but how do they treat their employees? I mean, if you
pretty bad.
Right.
Pretty
if
bad.
you know anybody that's ever worked at Amazon, all right, go ask them how they feel about their life.
Yeah.
Go, oh, they got a job, right? Good. How do they feel? Feel.
Yeah.
Not what you see, but what you feel.
Well, and just Amazon in general, it's like been documented. I believe they've been sued for it multiple times, and like they've done some terrible things to different markets of different industries. I remember specifically there was like a ilovediapers.com thing that they got sued for, where like there was this really popular diapers website that was selling pretty discounted diapers to families all around the world, and then Amazon basically saw that, and because they're so big and they make their money in so many other places, they took a loss for like 4 years selling the same diapers for like, essentially they were losing money on every single diaper.
That's how you beat the market all day.
They were losing money on every single diaper, but they knew they were making it somewhere else just to put them out of business, this other company out of business, just for that reason.
That's like guerrilla marketing. I used to do that back in high school even.
You were Amazon before Amazon.
I mean, so
you were doing the fucked up shit back then.
But even at that, all right, so way back, all right, guilty as charged. I used to sell some marijuana, and when I did that, it was there was times where I would take a loss and I would sell under market value and take a loss, but everyone would come to me. All right, so and everyone comes to me, so that makes I'm making all my competition bankrupt.
Yeah.
And then in doing so, after a month or two,
you
supply and demand, I raised the price. Yeah. But now I have all the clientele.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's what they did. That's what they do.
Right.
It's an interesting business.
Right,
it's actually
even grocery stores do that with milk.
Yeah.
Or gas stations. They'll lose money on milk, but they'll put it at the back corner of the grocery store so that you have to walk through the whole grocery store to get to the milk.
Oh yeah, there's a ton of stuff with that. You don't gotta explain that to me. I'm curious.
I can go back to money though if you want to go back.
I'm curious. I want to touch on the money thing. So you don't believe in money?
So
a lot of people would agree with you, man. Fuck money.
So on a lot of social media platforms, and a lot of time whenever I have the opportunity, sometimes I'll sit in a business group and just sit there and play dumb for a while, and then I'm going to come out and I'm going to say the thing that no one really wants to say because they're all about, let's get money, entrepreneurship, yeah. I'm like, all right, so if we all had no money and we were all standing here naked in front of each other, no genitalia and no money, what is your value as a being, as a soul? What are you worth?
Yeah.
Wow. It shuts up all these go-getters and entrepreneurs and money and billionaires. And then I also go, if there was no money, this whole world would be happier. Even a billionaire would be more happy, because money is. But wait, that can't be. It's always been. We're the only species on this planet that needs money. We're the only species in the universe that we know of that needs money to live and survive. We are the only species. Even in Hollywood, they don't even make alien shows that they use money. There is no money transactions through the aliens or UFOs or anything of that like. Only us humans.
Star Wars, they have money. But otherwise, I agree with you.
All right.
I agree with
Rick
you.
and Morty, they have schmeckles.
Okay.
All right.
But that's movies, though. But in real life, you're right. Right. In real life, you're right.
I rescind that part.
Squirrels don't have money.
Thank you. All right. I like it.
You're right.
I like
you're
it.
right. No,
Call me out.
Squirrels don't have money, though. You're right. Like,
right. We're the only
other
species that needs it. So with
money.
money
is the root of all evil. That's a lot of people say. Maybe not all evil, but a lot of it.
It's the love of money that's evil. And then there's a lot of conscious individuals that are going to say, no, money is just energy. It's energy. If you use it for the abundance and all that, yes, you can do a lot of things. Yes. And you know what? You're not wrong. You are not wrong. The very valid point, and I don't disagree with that. However, there's even songs that say, I got enough money to buy a murder charge. And people can't do that. You got so much money. You got so much money. You can take a diaper company and put them out of business just because you want to.
Yeah.
Just because you can for fun.
Yeah.
They don't even need the money, but they do it for fun.
Yeah. That's the thing. That's the scary part about money and greed. Really. That's the issue.
Which goes with that. So money is a control mechanism.
Yeah.
All right. Now, love and money, they don't mix. They don't mix. But so love cannot be controlled. When you ask what is love, everyone's got a different definition. Why? Because the root of it, love, it's a 4-letter word, Love in English, that we use to describe an energy that we cannot define. Love has no definition because once we define it, we are controlling it. And love cannot be controlled. Money can be controlled. So in doing so, if you have no money, what are you? You're afraid. You're in poverty consciousness. Poverty. Oh, how am I going to eat? How am I going to live? Oh, my God, I don't know what to do. Oh, no one's going to like me. I don't have a Coach purse. Oh, my God. Yeah. All right, so that's if you don't have it. But then if you have it, I got a Lamborghini, I got this. I worked hard for this, man. I did this. I sacrificed all these things.
Yeah.
Now you're afraid of losing it. So both. You're afraid of having it. You're afraid of losing it. Fear, fear, fear. And when you're in fear, love doesn't grow. Love and fear. So money, control, ego, fear. Money, control, ego, fear. It's a pattern. Yeah. And this is welcome to society.
Yeah. That was a lot. To unpack right there. Yeah, I will say love and money probably are, polar opposites. I would say. I don't think there's a lot of love. I mean, some people love money, but I don't think it's real love. I think that's going to tie into greed.
It's infatuation, it's obsession, it's greed. It's right.
Yeah, and I thought it's interesting too. You bring up, so a lot of people get scared. That's another issue with money. It's obviously we all want money, or we need money as a vehicle
We're trained to want it.
We're trained to, and there's certain things because of the societies we live in that you need money as a vehicle to get you to be in a position to have some sort of form of happiness, right? We need that, but then I think the issue becomes, some people as they acquire more money, more assets, whatever that is, then there is this fear of
ego
of not having it, right? It's ego and it's control. You're trying to control your situation. You don't have money, so you feel like you don't have control of your situation. Then you get some money, and now the money controls you because you don't want to lose it. So now you're operating in a place that's not maybe who you are. I thought it was interesting you brought up that if everyone was standing in a room naked and the money wasn't in, the money didn't matter. I
Donald
see
Trump,
your bank
Bill
account.
Gates, the homeless, the thug, everybody, all of them, all the rock star, the teacher, the student, the child, if they're all standing in one row, and they have no genitalia, so it's not who's got bigger and who's got better, genitalia and privates. It's not that, but so take out that part of it, take out what you see with your two eyes, and there's no money. So that means the homeless and Bill Gates and Donald Trump are all of equal playing field on that one.
Yeah.
So what is their value? How many smiles do they put on people's faces? How much compassion? How considerate are they? How kind?
Yeah.
Well, the values that
how much love are they spreading?
Right, exactly. And just because I got $100 million and I gave $1,000, or if I had $1 million and I gave $1,000, which one's more honorable?
Which one do you think is more honorable?
Well, I mean, the more you give of what you have, the more honor
the
there
higher
is.
Percentage. You're
saying? Yeah, and it's in a lot of ways.
Carrington says in the comments, I like his hat.
Oh, love haters, motivation.
Yeah.
Motivation. So
it suits you.
Yeah.
It suits you well. Do you have a lot of haters?
If I don't have haters, I ain't doing it right.
That's true.
I'm not doing it right.
That means you don't stand for anything.
Right,
if nobody dislikes you, you don't stand for
right.
anything.
And even on top of that, hate. What is hate? Ooh, you ready? What
is hate?
You ready?
Tell
What
us,
is hate?
Chris.
Hate is love mismanaged. Hate is a form of love. It's the absence of it. The only way I can hate you is if I used to love you. If I never loved you, I can't hate you, because the seed of hate is love.
I don't know if that's always true.
But it's miscommunicated. Well, Rule 7 is there's, with everybody we come across, the reflection. It's a reflection rule. And in reflection, there's either anybody we come across, there's either something that we love or hate about somebody else that is a reflection of something that we love or hate about ourselves.
Where are the other 6 rules?
I don't. They're.
Well, what rules are these? The rules of what? Because I could tell you people that I hate that I definitely never loved.
But there's something that you did love. There's something there is something there. If you dig,
I think we'll both agree on this too. I would say it's fair. I probably hate every pedophile. I don't think I've ever loved a pedophile. So
All right.
If I take it to that extreme.
All right. But yes. And have I dug deep down into pedophilia's mindset? No, I have not. But
Good.
but in this brief moment when you brought this up, I'm gonna.
Don't do it. Don't go there. You don't have to go in their mindset. We can just say we hate them. It's fine.
But why are they doing pedophilia? What's the
They're fucked up, man.
so something deep down inside of them, the seed of their hate and why they're doing that, there's a miscommunication of love.
Yeah.
There's a so whether
That is illegal. Yeah.
Whether it's pedophilia because they were pedophiles when they were a kid, whether it's in their DNA, whatever the reasons are. I'm not that person to know all that.
Yeah.
But in doing so, the seed of that is a miscommunication of love. So if they were able to dig deep into that trauma and heal from that trauma, then the pedophilia would be obsolete.
Yeah.
But so is it that we hate the pedophile?
Yeah.
But we hate all that stuff that came about from that part. The seed of it is still love mismanaged.
Yeah. I still hate him though too. Yeah.
All right.
I hate him.
And all right.
Yeah, I hate him. But we got Carrington says I hate myself. What does that mean?
You hate yourself. Well, all right. So if you hate yourself, all right, that means that there's a lack of gratitude for what you are as an individual, as a being, as a soul. And
have you ever hated yourself? Have you ever had a moment of self-doubt and hatred?
That is okay to do. Yes, it's good to have these things because hate can be a big factor in pushing somebody to grow. As well, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. All right, you know what? We're going to procrastinate as human beings. A lot of us, we will procrastinate and hate ourselves and shame ourselves and just pity it. Oh, poor me.
Yeah.
Until we're sick and tired of it. And when we're sick and tired of it, we boiled over, steamed out, steamed up. And in doing so, that hate is what pushed us over the edge. So, which pushed us over to the edge to go what? Full circle back to love.
Yeah.
Now we're loving ourselves.
Hate's just loved, mismanaged.
The balance,
yeah.
right? The balance. Yeah. So you say you hate yourself. That a big part of the reason why I don't know you, but a lot of that is, I would still say, a lack of communication you have with yourself. Deep down inside, there's something, a burning desire, your passion, your purpose, that's deep down in there, but you're not letting it shine like it could. And so in doing so, there's some shame. There might be some shame. I'm putting words in your mouth and I apologize. But in doing so, I'm assuming, I'm making an ass out of me. I'm assuming that there's some shame. And in that shame, you are, your feet, and the shame brings fear. And so so now you're living in fear where love's not growing when practice the gratitude.
Well, let's get to some other audience questions. Someone asks, are you registered to vote? Are you registered? I'm registered to vote. Do you vote?
Well, I don't watch television. I don't watch movies. I don't really listen to music that much.
So probably not.
So I would have to. So I would be an uninformed voter if I was to vote. So
it's probably a safe bet.
Really what? Red and blue both make purple, and what? It's like, well, tomato. I'm gonna be the change. I don't have to vote for the change. I can, and
Yeah. I'm curious, Chris. So I've heard a lot about you. I told you that before we went live. I know you've got this book that you're interested in writing. You're still writing, right? And as a guy who you were a mover for all these years, I'm not sure what you did after that. I know you told us briefly that in high school you were a mover and a shaker as well, in a way, where you were selling and doing stuff. So you got some books that you've been writing.
Yes.
Okay. Well, if I'm someone, because I guess I am. If I'm someone who doesn't know who you are, right, and I'm listening to this, and I'm like, why should I care about what this guy has to say in this book, and what the hell is this book?
All right.
What would you tell that person?
All right. Well, here I'm pulling out my.
He's got the notes.
And I got it written down on another paper, but this is where it started. So at the end of this last year, when I walked away from my moving company, 2 warehouses, all these things, I was like, my heart was saying, I got to get this book out. Mm-hmm. I'm tired of talking about it in bits and pieces to where it's like, all right, so I gotta make it to where you can gather it without overwhelming you. So like in any business model, business plan, you have a mission statement or an introduction. Right. So that's where I started writing. All right.
This is the mission statement of the book.
This is my first part. Right. This is when I'm like, all right, I'm going in.
I'm excited.
Introduction. Hello, being. Hello, world. Hello, universe. My name is Chris Romano, the messenger, and I'm writing this book for all of us. As I've traveled the country and spoke to people from all over the globe, I've had the privilege of learning from all sorts of people. This has been a great blessing, and for this I'm grateful. Gratitude, human beings. As I learned so many things, one thing I realized is the average being doesn't know that much about love. From all the people I have heard speak, I can say with a knowingness that people know more about pain than they do love. Pain is a guarantee. To go further, people also know more about money than they do love, even if they're broke. Wow. This isn't saying that they don't have an idea of what love is, but for most, it's an idea. They might be right, correct, but could also be wrong, perceiving an illusion of love. There are so many facets of love and qualities that play in one's ability to inner, and understand what love is.
Dude, if you do publish this book, not to cut you off, you should be the one that does the audiobook. Don't let anyone else record it, all right?
I feel you on that one.
You know what I'm saying? Because they're going to ask you. They're going to be like, hey, we got Brad Pitt. He could do the voice. The Rock is interested. You say, no, I'm going to do it.
Right.
Okay, keep it going.
I don't smell what the Rock is cooking. I don't smell it.
I want to hear the rest of your mission.
I don't smell it, right? In this book, we're going to dive in all the perspectives of love, from a baby's view to a person's last days. In addition, I will be coming from a flesh level of love to the quantum level. And that's where I left that. So, which was open to more. And
so it's a little bit of a mindset, like a self-help in a way. If you had to give it a genre of a book, it would be self-help, self-actualization of finding love. Of understanding love more.
A lot of it's love, because in some of my things, when I've spoke to a lot of people, I see that perception. There's perception. It's like two mirrors. Just goes.
Perception is reality, right?
Right. But where your perception is, it's always growing. So in doing so, where your perception is in life depends on how your parents taught you love, how you've been raised with love, and all that. These are deep embedded things in your reality of your perception that, in some ways, to get to a root, the seed of love, there's a lot of things to break on through, like Pink Floyd, break on through to the other side. Right, how
do we break through those things?
Well, slowly but surely, and a lot of times it's short. So one of my newest nicknames was given was Short Circuit, because when I go into places, I will short circuit people. But in doing so, when you get short circuited, what happens? It's like so a short circuit's like when your phone freezes, the TV freezes, your computer freezes, and what happens? You have to turn it off and reboot. So in a short circuit, that means that I just hit a glitch in your head, in your programming, your system, because we're all computers. I just hit a glitch.
What's something that you see a lot of people get short circuited on when you talk to them? Money's
a big one. Even when we talked about hate, and the seed of hate is love, and it's a common comeback is, no, I can hate without loving. So in that perception, that's, and I get that. And then even at that, it's like, all right, well, if we talk about consciousness and we talk about God and non-God and talk about, all the different formats and different religions, which almost all come from the same seed, the same root. There's different programs, different ways of speaking it. So in doing so, these are some of the different, perceptions breaking it down. So in book one, I've again, that was the beginning. That was like the main part of book that's my main intention.
But as
I've split this up a little bit more, now it's more in different chapters of like different lessons. So, and I'm picking the order. I have a lot of pages already written and printed out and all that. I just got to pick the order, and they're more in lesson formats. So as you can read the lesson. And then also I'm making it into a way to where, all right, you want to hire me to speak at your school, your church, your jail, your rehab, your company. All right, hey, you want me to talk on which chapters? Which chapters you want me to talk on?
Yeah.
All right, well, here, book one is to earn your respect.
Yeah.
And you could be like, wow, he's got some gems. Wow, he's got some information. Book two is a story about more my life and understanding. That's to help you understand. Book three is where I go deep, and I'm gonna blow your mind away.
That's the mastery.
I'm gonna, right. That's like the best blowjob ever.
Give us one.
But
give us a blowjob of a tip right now. Why don't you give us one lesson?
Just a tip.
Just give us a little bit. I don't want to
All
take
right.
away the stuff from your book.
All right,
Give me
just a
something
tip.
that you think maybe you've only spoken to me. You've only spoken to me for a few minutes here. What's something that you think either me or maybe my cohort here, Mike, who's producing the
right.
show, what's a lesson you think that a couple of young men like us should learn?
All right. So here's a big one. And when I walk around city to city, place to place, this is one of the big ones I share with a lot of people.
Mhm.
You know, and it's what's the biggest nation in the world? The biggest nation.
The biggest in terms of what?
Answer however you want.
I mean, I'm
gonna
gonna go.
twist you, but
I'm gonna go U.S. of A, bro.
all right, USA. All right. Anybody else? What's the biggest nation? All right.
Think about that.
All right. It is imagination.
Wow.
Ooh.
You got
What's
me.
what's the smallest nation?
I don't know.
Procrastination.
Procrastination.
What's the
Okay.
best nation? Determination.
Wow.
All right. So now when I go to the cities, all right, sometimes they go into gang nations. All right. So I twist that up. Sometimes there's nations that right, like the USA.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
the best nation. Oh,
How does
yeah.
that go over when you're like to a blood and you're like he tells you his nation is the
Hey,
best and you're like actually it's
everyone,
imagination.
Everyone respects it. Everyone respects it.
Yeah.
All right. So
I can see that going two ways.
And then I say, what's the worst hood out there?
And they'll give you an answer.
Adulthood. Ooh.
Wow.
Oh, snap. Oh, you said it. Yes, I did. I
Yeah.
done did that. Yes,
Yeah.
I did. All right. So, copyright infringement. All
You
right.
ever rap? You ever
What?
rap? Are you a rapper?
I don't even like
freestyle?
rapping my presence. I just give it to you.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Look at this guy. You got bars, man. You got bars for days, bro.
So, all right. So now imagination. All right. Imagination, the biggest nation in the world. And we can go there anytime we want. We were born from imagination. That's where we came from.
Yeah.
We came from imagination. All right. And that's where all the creation came from. All right. So now as babies, we lived in imagination. We were living there until right around the average age of 8. That's when our ego comes out.
Mhm.
That's when. But before that, we were living in imagination. Unless we had an early childhood trauma, then our ego might have came out earlier. I apologize.
Yeah.
Shit happens.
Do you I'm curious, dude. Sometimes the way that you speak is
A frequency.
poetic.
It's frequency.
Have you written poems before? Do you write poems?
Yeah, I've written poems.
Do you have?
Not a lot, yeah.
I thought you mentioned you had other stuff here. Do you have a poem?
Yeah, I brought a poem.
Give me a
with-
poem.
Oh, well, let me finish this
Okay,
little part.
finish your thought. Finish your thought.
You
I
asked for
cut
this
you off.
part.
I cut you off. I cut you off.
All right, so imagination. We go there anytime we want. We go there right now. I
I'm
see
there right
you.
now.
I see you. Oh, that's beautiful.
What are you thinking about?
Oh, I'm thinking about that one thing. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, that one thing we don't talk about on video. Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
Anyways, my mom thinks I'm cool. All right,
Mhm.
all right.
Yeah.
So we can go to imagination anytime we want. But then we go to this adulthood, right? And we lose sight of imagination. We stop going. Well, we got bills to pay. We got to keep up with the Joneses. Oh man, we got kids to feed. Oh, we got a significant other to satisfy or try to attempt to satisfy because we don't know who our significant other is. Whatever. All right, we stop going. Why? That's where all creation starts. All right, but either way, when we go there, we have 3 choices, the power of 3. And there's 3 sides to every coin, heads, tails, and the edge. All right.
Sure.
All right. So there's 3 spots. You can go to the procrastination island. I like to call it an island. Why? Because when you go there, it's jam-packed, and people are drowning there every day. You can help them. You can hurt them. You can use them. You can abuse them. You can do whatever you want to them, procrastinators. They're looking for outside. Help me. Oh, I hate my life. Oh, help me.
Yeah, I know some of those. Yeah.
All right, you can do it, and you can help them if you want. But you can do whatever you want. You can pull them up. You can push them down, and guess what? They're gonna take it. Procrastination, or you go to determination. You get some stuff done. You're focused. You're determined. You got the 4 D's: desire, dedication, discipline, and determination. Maybe even the 5 D's too. All right, 5 D's.
You know?
That's a 4-letter word. All right, but and then there's the third one. You step out in space and you float and you get lost. All right, and any 3 of those spots, and every time you leave imagination, you're stepping into one of those spots.
Yeah.
But You always have a choice. You're tired of floating and being lost. You're tired of procrastination. You're on determination. You hit an obstacle. Go back to imagination anytime you want. Go there right now. But when you step out, you have a choice. Where are you stepping?
What about the present? Because I feel like imagination, for some people that maybe are overthinkers, maybe they are procrastinators, even if they are determined in some cases, right? If I'm not present in this moment, that's where a lot of the maybe the negativity and the suffering can kind of creep into the mind, right? Where it's like if I'm too much in my imagination,
My mom taught me this.
I can start thinking about all the things that can go wrong. I can start imagining things that aren't going to be well. But if I'm present, I can avoid that.
Stepping. All right, so stepping. My mom taught me this one. So if I have one foot in the past and one foot in the future, I'm pissing on today, and today's a present. That's why we call it a gift. So in doing so, that right there, yes, if you're not being mindful and if you're not in the present moment, the gift, that means that your chances are, what's the key thing about even in manifestations, prayers, and is gratitude, the grace and gratitude, the gift. And so and that's the love. That's where love grows.
Gratitude is big if you want to be present. That's a great way to be present.
That's where love grows. Again, because now if you're in imagination thinking about everything you just spoke of, that would be back to fear.
Yeah.
Just like the money. So if you're living in fear, love doesn't grow where fear is at. Yeah. So as much as the puppet masters, they want us to be in fear, because in doing so, that's controlled. You cannot control love.
Yeah. We want to be unstoppable, uncontrollable. You played Grand Theft Auto?
Not really.
There's a train that's unstoppable.
That's
what we got to be like.
Back in the day when I was young, I'm not a kid anymore.
Yeah.
All right.
Give me a poem. Give me a poem.
All right, this poem. All right, one of my favorite poems. When I was 19, I wrote this. All right.
Okay.
All right. It's called
Damn,
My Lioness.
Can I? I'm not gonna spoil it, but I just want to show this script that you've got this on.
Oh.
It's like a scroll. Look at that. That's like.
It's all legit. Yeah. It was taped to my wall, and I got it printed out now for for
it's
book
called
purposes.
My Lion. I see.
My Lioness. Yeah.
My Lioness.
My Lioness. It would be neat to be able to meet that one girl. She shined like a pearl. Oh, my toy. We'd eventually have a boy after 2 other babies. They'd be ladies. This would be the life with my wife. We never need a knife because we compromise with no lies until the day we dies. You take a seat when we eat. There would be no fight into the night because we share each other's sight of what's right. I give her might. She shows me the light. Isn't that tight? We laugh and play every day. What can I say? This is real. I took the kneel to show her how I feel. We also talk, and we walk hand in hand in the sand. This is my lion, that when she be crying, I'll give her my shoulder while I hold her. She'll be wrapped in my fur until she can purr. This is my team in my dream.
Wow.
Thank you.
You ever written for Eminem?
I used to eat those.
Oh, yeah?
But now I'm a vegan, so I don't eat M&Ms anymore.
That's fair. That sounded like something off one of his new records, honestly. Honestly.
We're around the same age.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, the way you were, it was there. It was there. Everyone's saying that you ate that, bro. People in the comments are saying you ate that, which I don't know if you know what that means. It means you did a good job.
Well, thank you. Awesome. Thank you. It was delicious.
Yeah.
I hope you guys enjoy. I was sharing. I was giving you guys a piece of my pie.
I'm interested. So you've told... I'm curious if you are down to get into this at all. So I know you've got the book, and obviously, and you're all about positivity, and it sounds like you kind of have an idea of maybe these puppet masters not wanting what's best for us all the time, right? Are you somebody? I've got friends of mine that are big, like they kind of get into like the prepping for the worst case scenarios, right? Where it's like doomsday stuff. Do you ever get into that line of thinking? Are you ever like, dude, I gotta like be ready for when these people?
I kind of was with the warehouses. I was like, I was trying to turn it into a movement. I was trying to donate my house, move the company, the warehouses as a movement, but wasn't successful. All right,
No.
The world wasn't ready. I didn't have it documented.
Do you think the world, like, if the world was going to like a doomsday scenario, right? Apocalypse, zombie apocalypse, nuclear apocalypse, whatever it is. How confident are you in your ability to survive that?
I'm confident in mine. Like even where I live on a hill. Mm-hmm. There's water across the street. There's a school over there. There's a grocery store and a CVS. You know what?
Yeah.
Teamwork makes the dream work. I'm gonna get my cookie.
I'm curious. So if you were doomsday prepping, how many people would be on your like a perfect team, right? If you could have as many people as you thought would be perfect for that, how many people you think you need on the team?
So I don't exactly have exact prospects in a sense on that part, but
Yeah. But how many would you
but
need? do you
in
think?
numerology and numbers, it's a 12 pack.
You think 12 would be enough to survive?
And maybe even a baker's dozen, because even 12. There's 12 Knights of Round Table. There's 12 pack. There's 12 disciples. There's 12, 13, and really the 12 is the illusion is it's really kind of 13.
Yeah.
Because there's 12 disciples in Jesus. There's 12 knights in the King.
Yeah.
There's 12 months to make a year, but really 12 is really actually 13, because even the 13, depending on what kind of what's the word? There's a couple different kind of calendar years.
Yeah, there's different
right.
calendars. around the
I
world.
forget the names of them, but
what would be the first thing you would gather?
What?
Like if you knew like it was gonna be the end of times and you needed to like start stashing stuff, like my grandparents, they have they're from Poland, so maybe it's just like they're used to war times, but they have a stockpile in the basement
like seeds
of just like stuff, like some food that's not going to go bad, some extra things. When they buy like Sprite cans or sodas or whatever, right? Like they get extras and they've got them stashed in the basement. What's the first thing that you would stock up on?
I got lots of mason jars already.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I keep my mason jars.
What would you put in those mason jars?
I got long-lasting foods. Like I already have rice. I have abundance of rice and beans, and I got some of those type of things. Water's a key thing too. I like how they have these new filter things to where little traveler water filters that you can. I think those are really neat.
So the first thing you would do is
in older years, the Art of War, 48 Laws of Power, kind of some down that part, which to know thy enemy is to know thyself, and so
I read both of those books.
So in doing so, also it's like, and kind of like Bruce Lee says, to be I'd rather be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war.
Okay.
So
how does this relate if me, you, and Mike are stuck in the house?
Well, all right,
we're in the cabin.
So military minded, all right. The two things to build an empire, bank and army, are kind of even though the bank.
Chris, he's asking what would be your first thing you would stockpile? Would it be rice? Would it be water?
Probably water.
Water.
All
Okay.
right.
Okay. Water. I didn't know if there was something else maybe he wanted. Maybe I thought maybe that's where we were
maybe
going.
fruit. Maybe the H3O actually, like the fruit water.
The fruit water.
Yeah, fruit water.
Okay.
Because like the water that comes, the best water we can drink is the water that comes out of fruit, because it's so filtered through the trees and through the plants, and then it comes out. So the watermelon water, I mean, you can.
Can we give strawberries maybe?
Yeah.
What would be our rule?
With
like
peanut butter.
Let's think. Oh yeah. Oh, peanut butter. What?
Oh, I love me some peanut butter.
With strawberries?
Oh, with blueberries, strawberries. One of my favorite vegan things, I take a tortilla, put peanut butter on it, put cinnamon, put crushed walnuts and blueberries on it. It's a very good burrito. Oh, it's so very good.
Yeah, I would never put that in my mouth. But
you try it. You might like it.
Maybe, man, maybe.
Put it in your mouth.
Okay. Let's say again. Let's go back to this. I wanted this will be fun. I think me, you, and Mike, right? Zombie apocalypse, maybe, right? But we got a good bunker set up. Yeah. We're chilling in the crib. What are like the best tips? Because you'd be our leader, of course. What would be your best tips to give me and Mike?
No, it's a round table. I don't.
Okay.
No, not where.
Maybe that's tip number one is democracy.
Yes. So that's why that goes back to the power of 12. All right, so 12. If 12 highly conscious, highly high frequency individuals are all in the same room, how long is it going to take to light that candle with no match, with no lighter? It's not going to take long. We're all going to put our mind power and telepathic abilities to the test, and we're going to light that candle.
Yeah.
So, but in doing so the power of 12 also, in doing so, you have the round part here, and then you have the point, like the cylinder, like the cone.
Round part and point of what?
Like, all right, so like you have the base, and then you have the point here. So in the power of 12, all right, so you have the circular round, the round table, but in doing so, the 13th is invisible. So because the ego of man, all right, we don't need one person to be at the top, because now the egos are going to get in place. But 12 people, we make the 13th person, the 13th power.
Our conscious creates the 13th being.
Yes. So like even in relationships, so one of the chapters, I'll give little bits and pieces of it. All right, is 1 + 1 = 3 on a quantum level. Well, even though what? If I got 2 apples, I got 2 apples. What are you talking about? Yeah, I get it. Thank you. All right, but 1 plus 1. All right, I am me and you are you. All right, you are all you and I am all me. All right, and when we come together, we are what? We make us. Us is the third identity. It's not you, it's not me, that's us. And together, I'm bringing the best me in, and you're bringing the best you in, and that's making us. But when I walk away, I'm not going to be attached to you. I'm not. We are connected. When we come together, we're connected, and we make that us. That's that third point up here. Me, you, us. All right?
Yeah, but still 1 plus 1 is still...
But 1 plus 1 in this sense would be 3 because I got me 1, you 1. That's
if you're
me
counting
and you, plus us.
relationships,
us would be 3.
sure.
Us would be 3.
Yes, not if you're counting humans. If you're counting the amount of humans, it would be still 2.
They're like 2 apples, yeah.
Yeah,
right,
yeah. But if we were counting our different relationship, right? If I was like, if I take 2 people and I add up all the possible relationships, right, 1 and 1, then yes. Because technically, I have a relationship with myself. You have a relationship with yourself.
Right, and that I said on a quantum side, on the physical plane, yes, you're right.
Yeah.
Which that's also the beautiful thing about the paradoxes of life, the contradictions. Oh, you're contradicting yourself. The closer, and that's where a lot of people in the short circuit type of system, when the contradictions, like, oh, you're on bullshit. You're contradicting yourself. But the contradiction, anytime I see it, that's the closest we get to the truth. The polar opposites.
Yeah.
So in the perception, someone can see it this way and someone can see it this way. They're both so kind of like the professor and the kindergartner. Kindergartners gonna say 1 plus 1 is 2. The professor's gonna say 1 plus 1 is 3. When they come together, they're gonna be fighting, and you know what? They're both gonna say F you and just walk away. But both of them are right. But the contradiction there, so they're polar opposites, north and south. So in doing so, and so the closer we come to these contradictions and paradoxes, the closer we see the truth. Unfortunately, these paradoxes are very hard for most people to accept.
So would you use a shovel or like a katana? Like, what would be your weapon of choice if we had to survive a zombie apocalypse?
I like an axe.
An axe, yeah. Yeah, an
you
axe.
You can axe me too if you want.
Yeah, an axe. Axe would be crazy. Axe would be crazy.
Because you can dig with it. Yeah. And then it's got the hammer side on the other side. It's got the sharp blade.
Axes are pretty manly too, man. Like you definitely look cool with an axe, you know. I'd like to say I mean I just hate the thing about like holding an axe. I hate the top heaviness of it. So I think like if I was
do you hate it or you just dislike it and you're not comfortable with it because it's love mismanaged?
I don't think it's that. I don't think I hate it that deeply, but I dislike, we could say, the top heaviness of an axe. I'd use some sort of sword, I think.
What you laughing at, Mike?
I'm curious. If let's say it's doomsday, right? We can't leave the house. We will die if we leave the house, right? There's zombies, whatever. We have enough stuff in the house to survive. We got our 12 people at the table, right?
Yeah.
What are the rules in like a doomsday scenario in busting a nut? Like, what if I need to go, help myself out?
We vote on it, and
But do I have to like come to the table and ask for a vote? Like, hey, is it okay if I go do this, or like, is there just?
I think we find like a nut corner, like a corner where it just is done.
Do we just shoot it onto the wall, like this one corner of the house, and just everyone leaves it in this corner, or do we
call it hair gel? There's something about Mary,
Wow. Yeah. I mean, reuse, reduce, recycle.
I mean, but that's the voting. It's like even when I was trying to donate my house and make a movement out of it, I was trying to get 12 strangers to live in my house.
That sounds pretty insane, man.
Yeah, it was gonna be awesome. I had 4 bedrooms. I made I was like 3 people per. But the sacrifice, I mean, it was gonna be $200 a month per. That was the cost. So in doing so, what's money? I'm destroying the whole need for money. $200. If you suck at life, that's 2 days of working. Yeah. And that's if you suck at life.
Yeah.
If you're anything good at life, that's 1 day.
Yeah.
That's maybe 2 hours for some people.
Some people, yeah.
So in doing so, you have that much more of your life to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So but in doing so, there's gonna be 12 people. What? So me being a vegan, all right, I was hoping to get people that I don't want the meat in the house, but if 12 people came together and they said, hey, no, we want meat, all right, well, I gotta bend the knee and I gotta suck it up, Buttercup.
Yeah.
Right. So
have a vote for it. Maybe vote them off the island. Bro. Get the meat out of here.
Caffeine. All right. So I'm pretty pure. Love in, love out. That's why So I don't drink caffeine. No, I stay away from sugar. I do all these types of things. You're
like me, bro. Yeah. We're kind of the same, you and me, Chris, because I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't have caffeine ever, or rarely if I do, and
no attachments.
Yeah, Yeah, try not to be
I'm
reliant.
all about connection.
Try not to be reliant on something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, no attachments, all connection.
Yeah.
So if there's something I need, then I need to get rid of it.
That's a good way of looking at it. If you're reliant on it, yeah.
If I need it, it needs to go.
Is that why you stopped watching movies? I heard you haven't seen a movie since like 2000.
I've watched. I've watched 4 movies in the last 4 years. A little bit more of lately. I've kind of succumbed to that a little bit as my dad watches a lot of television. So to bond with him, I will sit in the TV.
Well, what's your deal with television and movies? Why don't you like it?
Love in, love out. Hate in, hate out. Heal people, hurt people. So we're all reflection. Back to Rule 7, we're all,
So watching a movie will make you not.
So the illusions, the television, it's telling me, it's telling a vision. All right, so.
It's painted perception.
Yes, yeah. Like Mike said, it's painted perception. So it's a perception that you are putting a program in my head, even in every commercial. All right, so I'm dumb and I'm lost. So like I think I saw a commercial during the Super Bowl which had a bunch of couch potatoes, where it was a bunch of faces watching couch, and they're putting a whole new network television, or like one of those, I don't know, something. I'm like, oh my God, wow. So in doing so, it's making it's justifying and making it more acceptable because people are seeing it with their eyes.
Yeah. So
it's making it more acceptable to be a couch potato.
So you think that it's trying to program you in some way? It's trying to
alcohol.
Facilitate.
Almost every movie, television show I've come across when my dad's watching. When they celebrate? What are they celebrating with? Alcohol. When the soldier or when the general's soldiers died, you know what they do? They drink it off. He goes to, when the husband and wife are having an argument, there's a bottle of wine. So subliminally you're hearing alcohol, even though they're not saying it.
For sure, definitely. We get programmed for that.
So that's a program. So alcohol is the way to go.
What do you think about art then in general?
What?
How do you feel about art in general?
Because
a lot of television and film would be considered art because the artist or the person making it or the team of people making it, there is an intent going in, right, of what they want you to feel. And they're trying to probably say something.
Even me right now, I'm doing something.
Yeah, this is art. Right. Yeah, this is art. Right, you're trying to say something. You're trying to maybe not force someone to feel something, but you are giving them a window into something else.
So I love art. So
you would love TV and film.
No, I love art in the sense of, all right, so like Bruce Lee said, to be a master of art, you have to be open up to all art. All right, so. And when
Bruce Lee's pretty famous on the TV, man.
Yeah, and when I read that when I was like teenager, I've held it till now, and I've opened up my open-minded, free spirit, opened up to a lot of different artistic value. And so now Michelangelo said art is a lie telling the truth. So it's all about perception. It's how we perceive it. So we might sense the truth, and so how we articulate it and how we are artistic with our feelings and emotions and how we paint this picture of what we see the truth as. So, and in doing so, that's where all the illusions come in. So
you're saying maybe if you don't agree with what their perception is, that it's not really worth your time to waste, like to indulge in that.
Almost all of our thoughts are recycled thoughts. We're recycling our thoughts. What I'm thinking, so the collective, the consciousness, a lot of recycled thoughts.
Sure, yeah.
So in doing so, to have, how rare is it that someone has a fresh thought is very rare. A fresh, original, that came from imagination.
That's true, man. Hollywood struggles with that for sure. I mean, they just keep rebooting the fuck out of every franchise. They got a new Alien movie coming out, so, they just keep remaking shit.
And they worship Satan, but that's beyond the point.
You think they worship Satan? Okay.
Dude, yes.
And even with the Hollywood, why do they keep on remaking the same stuff? Because it's just another program. It's embedding the program even deeper in. Like almost people, like when I say that we don't need money to live. Yeah. People are like, "You're crazy. What are you talking about?" So a lot of people will shut the book on me. They'll shut the door on me when I say that. Like, this is nonsense. I'm done listening to this guy.
Yeah.
So that's book 3.
Sure.
Because if I start talking about that right now, I'm sure you already get messages like, well, what the fuck? But in doing so, I see in your eyes you are.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I think.
Thank you, audience.
I think it's interesting. I would
I love
actually
you.
be. I would love to just stick a camera in a room and let you and Michael talk and listen to what comes out of that, because Michael's already getting riled up and he's getting excited about the devil worship or that Hollywood worships the devil. We'll get into that. But I think like especially some of the stuff you said today. I really I think intrinsically and on a spiritual level, there's a lot of truth in it, right? Like we don't need money to live. Money is the opposite in a lot of ways of love, and how you talk about how hate is in a lot of ways is love. It's a lot of love mismanaged potentially, right? I think a lot of that stuff is legit, but there's also this sad reality of that we do exist in this society where I do have to have a certain number or a certain amount of money to exist and survive long enough to maybe come to those conclusions that you're speaking about, right? Like I do have to have a bare minimum to be able to eat and sustain this body to exist and have the love that I want to
And depending
have, right?
on where you're at in your journey of life is depending on where you're going to perceive this at. Because it's like, how many people have made it to the top of Mount Everest? Not a lot. So for most of the world, to hear what it's like to be at the top of Mount Everest is just a thought. It's an idea.
Yeah.
We most of us will die not knowing. So it's very few people that can actually describe it and explain it in a realistic way that have been there.
Yeah.
So again, having no money, to even grasp that, you have to be
You have to be in a place where money no longer matters to you.
Yes.
And to do that, there is a certain level of, maybe privilege might be the wrong word, but you do have to have garnered or achieved or stepped out of the rat race in some way, which you have to do usually through the vehicle of money. You have to almost use money to not worry about money.
Almost, yes.
Right?
And then on top of it, the sad part is how the way the system's made is, all right, so either you're a slave to the dollar bill, and you're going to a job, work, pay, and hardly ever have a life. You don't really have a life, really. You're just, you're living to work, all right? Because once they took slavery away, they replaced it with money, all right? So now we're a slave to money.
Money was there before, I think.
But they infiltrated it, and but they really used money as the new slavery tool. All right. So if you break on through that part, you find the universal laws of abundance, and you get a life coach and all this kind of stuff, and you see it all. All right. So really, all you're doing is you're becoming a slave master. You went from slavery and you broke on through, and now you're a slave master. So you're still in the system.
That's even more racist.
You're still in the system. You're still in the system.
Yeah.
I'm not talking black, white. I'm just talking about. So the slave master is the boss.
Yeah,
that's the owner, all right, the slave master, and as someone that owned a company, guess what? Hey, Mike, I got a $20 bill. What are you gonna do for it? That's my slave.
Yeah,
You're either the person in the field or the person that's whipping the people.
Right. So once you figure out the system, all you do is you just switch positions, kind of like the movie Casino with Robert De Niro.
That's a movie.
Yeah. All right.
I thought we hate movies.
I don't hate them, but I don't want to be influenced by all these other outside thoughts.
Yeah.
I'm trying to keep my thoughts original. I like to meditate. I like to be one. I like to be centered. The messenger, channeling. So if I have all these other distortions in me, then if I'm eating sugar, drinking caffeine, eating meat, all these other things, I'm staying as pure as possible.
Yeah.
So in doing so, that there is so again in that movie Casino, which was way back when. That was I'm 41, so that was way back when. But in doing so, Robert De Niro just switched positions. He was still the boss man. He might have been the janitor. He was the boss. So it doesn't matter what title he is. He was the boss. Yeah. So he was the slave master. All these different titles, and that's the same thing with back to the money part.
I want to get to. We got a couple things before we wrap today. All right. I want to give you a chance. I know you had mentioned before about asking me some questions, so I'll let you do that in a minute here. I want to ask something fun, something light. This is a raunchy show. We talk about goofy stuff, right?
Yeah.
I'm curious. You talk about a lot about trying to be pure, trying to keep your thoughts straight on the straight and narrow, right? You're trying to stay grounded, stay calm. Where does sexual desire go into that? If a lot of people, there's this no fap thing, right? Where guys think they shouldn't jerk off.
I went almost a whole year without doing it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Was it leaking out of your pores or what?
I was a beast. I was getting beastly.
Yeah.
I was on fire. Like
sound
I'm
horny.
already.
You sound a little horny right now, man. I'm rocking with it. Though.
I'm already a fire sign, so Sagittarius, right?
Yeah.
So I'm full of all this fire, and I'm on part of talking apps and social media apps and all that, and I've met a lot of people all over the world, and in doing so, and name's the messenger, and in doing so, there's some highly respected women that that they had some divinity to them that and I valued what they had to say, and so these 3 women pulled me into another room, and they've heard me speak, and they love that they. They fed off what I said. I think 1 lady was from New York and 2 ladies were from the Netherlands.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, Chris, you need to go jack off. You need to go take care of that. We understand what you're doing. You're keeping it in. You're protecting it. Doing the cannellini, the pinot. Keeping the rotation, the 30. So on and so forth. Yes, all right. But you are losing some of that control. You're losing as you are ferocious in fire, and to be a lot more calmed if I let go.
Let it go. Did you ever let go in your sleep during this period?
And then she said, and then one of them says,
okay, you keep going. We'll get to it.
Don't stop, get it. All right?
Yeah.
And then so she's like, yeah, I don't care. Put it in a tissue and plant it in your garden. Keep the seeds, because that's the seed. That's the fruit of thy loin, the fruit of thy womb. All right, that is that.
That's a good way to be grounded.
That is that chi. That's that chi. That's that oomph. That power.
Well, that's what even Michael, your buddy, he told me one time when he was on the podcast that he fucks the earth sometimes to stay grounded. Instead of jerking off, that he makes a hole in the dirt.
And the green grass grows all around and around, and the green grass grows all around.
So that's what I'm saying, is that maybe that's what you were doing.
Hole in one.
Yeah.
False accusation. Just want to put it out there.
Okay.
Have not done that. Have not.
That's insane, man. Was it a lot, that first load after a year?
I made it like 9 months.
9 months. Wow.
Because they really pushed me. I was like, I don't know, like all right, I'm taking that outside influence, right? I'm hearing it, right? But
was it a lot of fluid though? 9 months in?
Yeah. It was
like a lot came out, probably. Yeah.
There are a lot of times that like there's times that I'd wake up and my legs had like knotty, like my leg hairs were like stuck together, type thing.
Yeah.
It happens, it's
that's crazy. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, man, that's awesome though. That's cool. I never, I don't think I've ever nutted in my sleep yet. So maybe I
mental ones. That's
cool.
This is what he wants.
This is what Mike wanted you to get into.
Get into that.
What is this? Mental nuts? You can bust a mental nut?
Yeah. Explain that a little bit.
Yeah, mental is where there's no.
Doesn't Kanye have a line about
touch.
that?
There's no physical touch.
Yeah.
There's no physical touch. So
add some context. This is Chris's fantasy.
This is your fantasy. Okay.
It's not exactly. It's mental. It's emotional, mental, more spiritual, and
what is it? What are we talking?
It's where it's where you don't need to be touched. So you're sharing an intimate moment with somebody, and I could be touching them. They could be touching my face.
Yeah.
But nothing in that region. My region's not being touched.
Yeah.
And in doing so,
to completion though, you want to go
completion,
to
right?
Wow,
so in doing so, maybe I'm pleasing her so much so that I get lost in the I get lost in the sauce to where I just and I'm like, how cool. Yeah, I'm getting lost in her sauce that I get all saucy.
Yeah.
And now we're saucy together, and how cool is that? She didn't have to do nothing but enjoy herself. Wow. How cool would that be?
This sounds like a cop-out for guys that bust too early, This sounds like maybe a cop-out.
I'm not that guy.
He goes, no, not me, bro. Not me.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. No, Chris, I appreciate you coming on the show today, man. You've given us a lot of fun stuff. Do you have any questions for me before we wrap up? I know you had a lot of thoughts and questions. I know you're interested in podcasting and stuff like that.
I'm working on building my own podcast to be part of the foundation or the platform for some of the things I'm talking about, and
can I give you a tip?
Just a tip. No, actually, you can give me the whole.
Just take the mic closer to your mouth.
You can give me the whole shaft, really. I'm
there
cool
you go.
with
That's
it.
that's all I was gonna say. Is take the mic.
I
Okay,
like-
tell me the rest of it. What were you saying?
So in doing so, I'm working on, and since I don't know much about podcasts, it's like this is my first podcast I've actually sat through for a whole hour or whatever, hour and a half. I've never watched a podcast.
Excellent.
So in doing so, and then even with my moving company, one thing as a serial entrepreneur, one thing I realized was I was not equipped and ready for all the growth. And so since I didn't have it documented or scaled, once that boom hit, I was ill prepared.
Yeah.
So now in this one, it's like, and a lot of people have said, yeah, hey Chris, you got a podcast, yeah, like you. A lot of people have always said, man, I could listen to you going to sleep, so people have already said I have that thing.
Mm-hmm.
That thing. All right, I'm not a singer. All right, but that's for Eminem. All right, but bring it back, right? All right, but but in doing so, I don't feel like I am educated enough, and that's where my intimidation might be a little bit in the part of not knowing some of the stepping stones in that part. Because so it's like I got my preliminary podcast plan. It's about and it's based on, I've got a platform based on failure.
Okay.
We're gonna talk about
Talk about failures.
Yeah, that's
nice.
Celebrating failure.
Okay.
But I have but in doing so, once it blows up, all right, what are some of the hiccups that like if I knew this before I did that? Those are things. Those are things I'm looking for more of organic people. I don't want to I can go to YouTube and look it up and say, but like the real McCoy, the real talking of it, not just the whole pitch on their YouTube show.
Yeah.
Behind the scenes. So even like I might even ask you again once we turn off the mics. Like, all right, cause
I would say I mean, if you're like trying to think of like hurdles that you'll face, the biggest and simplest one that a lot of people struggle with is consistency. And not inconsistency is like they don't want to do it, because a lot of people want to, right? But like you talked about earlier, people get stuck on that procrastination island, right? And it's that they mean well, they want to do it, but they're just not set up to make it easy enough for them to be consistent. So what I would suggest, and what I always suggest to people, is get your system in order to where you just have to show up and do it. You know what I'm saying? So that like you want to make it as streamlined as possible so that there's as few barriers necessary to create the thing, right? Like if I'm a basketball player and I want to get better at basketball, I should have access to a hoop. I should be able to hoop whenever I want. Doesn't mean I have to have the nicest hoop. I could have a shitty hoop on the side of my house. I could have a friend or a key to a gym that I always know I can get into, but I should always be able to do that at just whenever I want to. I don't have to wait for Chris to let me in. I don't have to wait for so-and-so to do this. I don't have to wait to go to the studio and lock in and do this thing, right? I would try to own the means of production.
You call this.
Yeah, own the means of production and be able to just step into that world of whatever your podcast is and be able to hit record and do it. Now that can look, it doesn't need to be like all this stuff, right? It can be much more stripped back, much more simple. But it just needs to be, you need to be able to know how to do everything at least a bare minimum level. And it should be easy enough that like if and when you're doing it, let's say you decide I'm going to do it twice a month, that when that day comes, right, on the second time of the month, maybe you did the first episode, now the second one's coming up, that even if, oh my God, I got stuck in traffic, or oh my God, I'm having a kind of a bad day, or I didn't cook dinner yet, whatever, it has to be easy enough that no matter what other bullshit or distractions could get in the way, it's not going to stop you from doing it that day, right? So it should be easy enough. Like I had some dumb shit going on. I was going to talk about it earlier on the show. There was like a bomb threat in my neighborhood recently. Like today, they had shut down all the blocks for a few hours, not a few hours, it was like an hour and a half while they were scanning everything. And like something like that could have thrown my whole day off, right? If I had to like go somewhere else to get to the studio and let you in there and do whatever. But I kind of have a system that I like, at least, where it works for me, that I can just walk over, set my stuff up, check my mics out. Everything's already corded up. I don't got to break out everything and start setting it up that way. I don't got to retreat the walls and everything. It's ready to go. It's easy. And for someone else, that system might look like going to a studio or doing whatever else. But just as long as it works for you and it's easy enough where you don't give yourself an excuse to not do it, that's what I would recommend. Consistency is the biggest thing. Because then if you do blow up and you catch a clip, you're probably going to want to get back in there and record the next one, right?
Yeah,
And you
I had plans for this. Like,
yeah, and you don't want there to be barriers in the way of that happening.
Right.
So
that, even at that, the whole part of like how to, I'm also like looking into the cash flow, like how to, you know, like all right, because as the one part about, so I have these gifts, I have these abilities, and gifts are supposed to be given. They're not, you know, I can't stand the money, but at the same point, if I'm by myself, all by myself, solo, I need money to live.
Exactly right. That's
by myself. But in a team, once you and I, T,
that's
unity,
an song.
you and I, consciousness, you and I, verse. The verse when we come together, in that part we don't need money. As a team, we can destroy that. But by myself, few and far between can someone live without money by themselves.
Yeah.
But if 7,000 ants stood up to the grasshopper. The grasshopper ain't got shit.
Yeah, ants are pretty OP, dude. It makes me sad sometimes when I see them like take out like a big spider, because I'm like, that spider was such a savage, and then like you see like this group of like 50 ants just smoke it because he had no chance.
Well, right. If 7 million babies all stand up and say,
okay, I could take 7
if
million
we all
babies.
stop paying the mortgage and stop paying rent, what are the banks gonna do? If all of America stops at the same time,
That's true. Yeah, if everybody
they ain't got
did
shit
at the
on
same
us.
time.
They ain't got shit on us as a whole, but they don't want to hear that.
Yeah. They'd probably just
They
start
don't hear me though.
killing us until
They
we
don't hear me, though.
complied. They would probably just drop like 2 airstrikes, and I'd go back to the bank. I'd put my money back.
Back to fear.
Yeah,
back to fear.
I would.
Fear.
Yeah,
Fear's
fear for my
got you.
life.
Fear's got you staying in that direction.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, fear's got me wanting to survive. No, Chris, dude, thank you for being on the show, man. I really appreciate this. It's been a lot of fun, and I think if you do decide to go the route of podcasting, I think you'll have a bunch of fun doing it too. It seems like you'll be a natural. I look forward to this book, and I hope that if and when it's done, I'm gonna buy the book, and we're gonna read it, and maybe I'll tell the people about it. We'll have you back on. That'd be fun.
And Chris Romano at Facebook, aka Tom Graves, because when I opened up my Facebook, I didn't want people to find me, so the old address might be Tom Graves.
Nice.
All right, and then 369 the Messenger on Instagram.
Nice. 369 the Messenger.
Yeah.
We appreciate you, man. I want to say a quick shout out to everybody who tuned in live tonight, as well as those that are listening or watching days after over on Spotify. I want to say a quick shout out to our patrons. It should be up on the screen right now. If you guys are interested in getting behind the scenes access to extra videos, extra podcasts, as well as a series where I break down how I mix, master, write, record every single one of my songs, go to patreon.com/Darren Rita. You can help support the channel for as little as $1. Now I want to say also thank you to Alpine House 2 for sponsoring another episode of the show. That's at Alpine House 2 on Instagram. Check them out. They're linked down below. And this has been the 266